chat through the stories in this most recent issue, there's a lot of curiosity that often sparks. One of the top 3 questions I always get is, why a printed magazine? Isn't print on its way out? While I can understand how in a digitally centric age with shorter than possible attention spans to make an impression, there's something about holding what you created in your hand. And it's not just about what More Magazine is publishing. It's the stories and the voices that are being printed and made a physical part of history. It's seeing yourself in a magazine, feeling seen, not even realizing the impact you'll have on someone else when they get to see it or have it shared with them for the first time. We take our printing seriously, as well as our impact, and it's not without careful thought that we've partnered with Tactive to make our brand come to life. From the inception of our conversations, sustainable practices and printing have been at the forefront. Tactive is based in our home city, Indianapolis. Though, like us, their impact goes beyond our city and state lines, extending to communities that the eyes can't see. And yet, the hands get to hold pieces of a brand that make moments more intentional and long-lasting, easily aligning with our brand by supporting community initiatives and organizations, like our nonprofit neighbor Indie Pride, and finding ways to serve their stakeholders. Tactive is one of the most impact-conscious businesses we've had the pleasure of working with. We all want a little more of more in our lives, and when we first considered putting our brand on swag to share with students and those wanting to spread the word to seek more, Tactive was a key voice in helping us determine how to make our brand have a tactile and meaningful impact rather than printing something without thought. As a small women-owned business, I'm grateful to have folks in business I can rely on to have conversations that will move more forward in strategic ways, and I'm doubly grateful to work with Tactive as we make opportunities reachable for everyone together. To learn more about how Tactive can bring your brand to life, head to tactive.cc. That's TACTIVE.cc for more information.
Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk More on Monday. I'm your podcast host, Chloe, and I am joined by some wonderful women today who have all come together to make a beautiful piece in issue 8, Beauty of More, happen. We are joined by Stephanie, Hannah, Angela, and Grace that have all had a piece of making the world a little bit more beautiful. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I loved your piece. Stephanie, I think you had some wonderful contributions. Hannah, I love the way it all came together. And Angela and Grace, I'm so happy to have you guys here as well to talk about what this piece means and how we can implement it in our lives. So welcome to everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'd love to go around and have you guys talk about who you are, what you do, and how you came to work with More. So we'll just go clockwise and we'll start with you, Stephanie.
Great. Well, I'm Stephanie Odell, founder of Celebrate the Gray. And Celebrate the Gray is an agency for and about the 50-plus women. We represent models, influencers, content creators, and work with brands to really understand who we are as we age, women, and how we want to be represented with updated visuals and narratives that really represent powerful and inspiring aging and don't put limitations on what we can do. And I got connected with More. Ariana and I got connected a couple of years ago and have just stayed in touch. And then Hannah reached out about doing a piece in the beauty issue and talking about beauty and kind of demystifying and beauty and speaking around age inclusion and beauty. So I had the chance to talk to Hannah and really kind of dive into aging with beauty and demystifying that for others. So it was great, a great conversation, and it was thrilling to see the article come out and then including some of the models, Angela and Grace, in this conversation because they really have made huge pivots in their lives and are really doing amazing things around age positivity.
Yes. And that is definitely what we want to focus on today and have people take away from this piece that you've created. So Hannah, I'll go ahead and have you introduce yourself and the story journey that you have had with More.
Yes. So I'm Hannah, and I have been a contributor for More since the first. I had a lot of fun writing this piece. It was so great talking to Stephanie and just getting to kind of know her journey. And it was just really inspiring. And yeah, it was so much fun participating in this issue.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you got to write again. It's always good to have contributors return. All right, Grace, I would love to have you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you do.
Hi, my name is Grace Gonzalez. I'm 55 years old. I'm from New York. I work full time as an analyst, pulling numbers, pulling trends, reports. And in my part time, unbeknownst to me, I got into modeling. And that's how I met Stephanie. I'm
What do you
enjoying the
mean
process.
unbeknownst?
It actually happened when I was going through some changes in my life. I was going through a divorce. I had no confidence in myself. And I was also going through a personal situation with my daughter. She was diagnosed with breast cancer at the time. So I was feeling kind of lost. And I remember Christmas night, I sat on my sofa and I started praying to my tribe. And I said, show me a purpose. I need something show me to help me with my confidence. I started surfing the net. I came across Celebrate the Gray. I looked into it. I looked at all the beautiful women that looked like me with gray hair. Beautiful. My breath was taken away. And I said, you really want me to do this? Get into modeling me? I emailed Celebrate the Gray. A day later, Stephanie emailed me with the details, got my headshot, and there it is.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
I love it. That's so excellent. And it really goes to show that, like, you never know what to expect, where you're going to find a new purpose, and
Yes.
you can be surprised by what's coming for you. So
Yes.
I love that. Okay, Angela, I'll have you introduce yourself, what you do, and how you got involved with Celebrate the Gray.
I'm Angela Belias. I live in Los Angeles, California. I'm 56. And after COVID, I needed to pivot and do something different. My daughter has autism, and I've been her liaison between the teachers and the school that she was in all throughout her growing up. But she's advanced autism, and now she's a senior in high school taking AP classes and got accepted to 7 different colleges. So
That's amazing.
I'm now being able to take step back and not have to be so heavily involved with her scholastic journey, her social emotional health, all of that, because it's all the early intervention really helped.
Yeah.
So that's been my deep dive for the last 15 years. And now I've been trying to figure out what to do with my life. And I stumbled across Celebrate the Gray online and decided to give it a whirl. And I've been told, yeah, I love your hair. Where do you go get it done? And I'm like, God, I don't DNA, I don't know. So I signed up, and Stephanie has been amazing at giving me another chance at this encore career called modeling. So I would have never guessed I would have done this in a million years, but it's been something I've done now for a year, I guess. And it's brought in some extra income that'll help pay for college. So thank you.
There you go. That's so excellent. So I would love to pivot over to Hannah and Stephanie. I think you can both kind of answer this question, but tell us a little bit about your piece in issue 8 entitled It's a Gray Area.
You know, one thing that I remember, Hannah, when we were speaking, was you brought up your mom, I think, or your grandmother. Do you remember that you were talking about your grandmother or your aunt or somebody that was really influential for you? And I just had this moment of how beautiful that conversation was because of a younger and a older woman having that conversation, but finding common ground. But then also, I think you started thinking about those older women in your life differently. And it gave you an opportunity to think, oh, the value and the beauty that they have to give to the universe that you may have lost sight of or may not have noticed as much. And I just remember how powerful that was as we were talking that day.
Yeah. It's kind of like, yeah, it was my grandma. And, you know, I have these conversations with a lot of the women in my family, and you kind of do take, I guess, especially your family, you kind of take them for granted a little bit, and they're just always there. But they have so many stories to tell. But I sometimes think that, you know, the world has found their way into their heads a little bit it's for longer than mine. So I try to make sure that I'm also there, telling them, just because you're older doesn't mean anything. You're still beautiful. You still have it all going on. Like, Grandma, you're going to Zumba. Like, you got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that you were both able to connect that way. And oh, sorry, Hannah, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I think my connection might be a little weird. It's being very glitchy. So
I think it's lagging a little bit. Yeah, no worries. So, Stephanie, can you touch on what your inspiration was? And you do talk about this a little bit in the article, but I would love to hear it from you now, what your inspiration was for creating Celebrate the Gray.
Well, I always say it was selfish, which I think a lot of when women start businesses, it's from a personal need. And it came from seeing my at the time, she was in her late 80s, mother, kind of not even, she was living my father's, based on what my father's abilities were. She was living that life because that's what she was given. That was what she was always told by society, that, and for her generation, it was your abilities are based on your relationship. And so she was starting to really limit herself based on what my father's abilities were. And I had interviewed one woman that was in her 90s. And I remember my mom hearing the article and said, "Oh my God, she's so inspiring." And I thought, okay, if you can get inspired, and you can get inspired at any age, but she was in her 80s and got inspired by this 95-year-old, gave her the thought in her head, oh, look what I have to look forward to. And so often as we age, we kind of rest on what we've done and who we've been and don't think about any positivity moving forward. It's just kind of this, we're maintaining and we are who we are kind of thing, not even having the consideration that you could evolve at any age. And then I saw her realize that she didn't have to limit herself, that she could do more. And that was super inspiring to me. And then I also saw my daughter and myself. I have a 23-year-old daughter, but I saw the focus move from me, in your 20s and 30s, you get focused, you get attention, you get noticed. And then all of a sudden the attention, she was 13 at the time, the attention started pivoting to her. And I just went, wow, that is really interesting. How youth driven we are. And even though that we still as women want to be visible and want to be important and want to be part of the network of society and the fabric of society. So those kind of things happened. I started Celebrate the Gray as a blog, and I thought I was going to start a fashion line, but I met these incredible women and really realized the visuals and narratives we served as women are so limiting and so needed so much to be broken out of that box and to be rewritten. We were living longer and healthier, and it wasn't being reflected positively in marketing and advertising. So it was a gradual, I say this has been a gradual burn, and it's been I didn't know where I was going, but I knew that starting wanting to notice women and tell women that I saw them was a really great place to start. And then it just kind of built from there. I don't know if that answered your question. It was kind of going down as
taking a step back and thinking about that concept that society is so youth driven, it really makes almost no sense because, like, what do teenagers even know? What kind of life experience, what wisdom are we gauging from them? Like, is it really just an aesthetic purpose? Which also doesn't really make much sense because, obviously, as you guys have proven time and again, older women have so much beauty to bring to the world, like are so gorgeous. And there's just some fascination with our culture, with youth, that we're trying to shift that paradigm.
Yeah. I think it's just the way it's been done. I think societally we do things the way it's been done until there's disruptors that come along and say, but why? Why are we doing it that way? And I think generationally, like my mother's generation was one to say, well, that's just the way it is. That's, they go to the doctor and the doctor says this. I'm like, yeah, but did you ask this? And they're like, no, he's the doctor. He knows best. I'm like, well, you can say, so I think generationally, the 50 plus woman, 40, 50 plus woman is a generation of mindset of, but why is it that way?
Mm-hmm.
What does it have to be that way? And can we change it?
Yeah. All right. I want to hand the mic over to Angela and Grace. I want to hear from you guys about what it was like to actually be a model, to do a photo shoot, and then to see your pictures on Celebrate the Gray.
You can go ahead, Grace.
Yeah.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
When I first saw my picture on Celebrate the Gray, I literally started crying. I'm not going to lie. It was a sense of worthiness that just came over me. And I said to myself, I can do this. I am beautiful. My grace doesn't define me. It actually embraces me because it tells me that I am still alive. So seeing those photos on the website of Celebrate the Gray made me realize that, you know what? I can empower other women to believe in their dreams, no matter how small or how big they are.
Yeah.
Like I said, unbeknownst to me, I never knew I would be in this journey, and I'm embracing it. I'm grateful to Stephanie, who believed in me, for giving me the opportunity. And I hope other women do not fear their thoughts or their any goals that they have implanted in their head. Go for it. Do it.
Yeah.
There's no big or small idea. I always said that if it's a seed planted in your head, it's because it's supposed to be in your path.
Yeah.
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 Well, can I tell a quick story about Grace?
Please.
So Grace, NBA Lab, which is part of the NBA, reached out to me, found Grace's picture somewhere on one of the platforms, reached out to me and said, we'd like to work with Grace. And so we went back and forth with trying to get Grace set up, and it was the speaking part. So this was something that she was not comfortable with at all. And I know she never, I don't think you ever articulated it to me, but I know you were like, didn't want to do it and were really nervous about it.
You're right, Stephanie.
I kept saying, I'm practicing with, is it your daughter that's in
My
theater?
granddaughter. She's majoring in theater, yes.
I'm practicing with my granddaughter, and because there was a script, and she was going to be with these two young kids, and she was going to be the grandmother in the scene, a very modern chic grandmother, let's say that. But she never said I can't do it. She just battled, pushed herself through and got to the other side. And I think that was a huge moment for you.
Thank you. That was a perfect example, Stephanie. And let me add this. Guess what? They wanted to pay me a certain amount, and Stephanie renegotiated double the pay.
Wow.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you.
Boss. That is so awesome.
Thank you.
And exactly what you deserve.
Very grateful. Very grateful.
Awesome.
Yeah, Angela, do you want to talk about your experience either with the photo shoot or what it was like to see yourself published?
Yeah. Mine, I signed up with Celebrate the Gray, and within about a week or two, I got my first job. And Stephanie contacted me, and it was with Pravana, the hair. Funny, it was for a hair dye. So I thought, oh no, they're going to undo my gray, but they actually enhanced it with a temporary dye.
Nice.
So it was a smoky silver look that was my whole hair. And it was a tutorial, so it's something so Pravana hairstylist, colorist can watch and see how it's done.
Oh, nice.
So that was my first job, and it was very fun. And it was definitely out of the box. I didn't know where to park. I didn't know how to get there. It was kind of confusing, but I figured it out. And it's kind of been, each job has led me to a new place, new people, new parking, new fitting places. It's just a journey of where to go, and I'm always, I plan 30 minutes ahead of time to give myself the, I don't know where I go kind of moment to just calm myself and get there on time.
Yep. Try some doors, talk
Yeah.
to some people. Yep. That's always a necessary part of it.
Yes. I don't mind asking questions to, parking attendants and security
Right.
guards. They're always very helpful, especially on lots like Universal and Warner Brothers. They get really big and confusing. So
Big time.
they're helpful.
Oh, I think,
Well,
can I add one thing about for Angela too? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think that one of the stories that you told me, and they both, Grace and Angela and all the ladies have this experience where we're talking about intergenerational, is this moment of re-education that all the ladies have to re-educate those younger decision makers of what age looks like. Because really all we have in our head is what our grandmothers, our grandfathers, our aunts, our uncles, our mothers, our fathers, our family, our friends, or what society tells us age is supposed to look like. So each time one of the Celebrate the Gray models goes to a job, it is this amazing opportunity to engage, rewrite what age visuals look like. And Angela, one of the stories you told me was about you tend to find the younger people on set.
Yes.
Offer them rides home or become like this friend in need kind of person. That's just your personality, but I think it's so beautiful because you are this intimate kind of connection, changing the way younger people view age.
Yeah, that's true. I wind up kind of being, I guess, a mom character to a lot of the 20-something and millennials that are on set, and they usually Uber themselves to these locations, and they're far away, some of them, Simi Valley, and I'm like, we get into chatting about where they live, and if they live really close to me, and they're a woman, I'm not going to do this to the men, but I drive the women home because I save them an Uber, and every little bit counts in this business. They need as much money to save as they can, and I'm like, why not? They're like one exit from my exit. It doesn't matter. So I love to offer, what aging and a positive view on aging. And whenever you get to my age with the wrinkles, the age spots, the gray hair, life doesn't stop. It just keeps going, and there's new opportunities. I think they're shocked when they find out I roller skate too.
I was going to say, we should talk about Angela's roller skating.
Awesome,
Yes.
So yeah, I think they're like, wow, you roller skate too? I'm like, yeah, I kayak, I paddleboard. I have a very active life at 56. It doesn't just become, I start taking up knitting and sit in a rocking chair all day. That's not for me. I know that maybe that's other people, and that's fine. I'm not going to poo-poo anybody's decision on whatever they want to do, but I'm like, I want to show what I do and what I find fun, and it happens to be roller skating and outdoor activities.
I bet you have really cute roller skates too.
awesome.
I have 3 different pair. I love them. I have a tennis shoe pair. I have a rose gold pair that are for my modeling shoots. And then I have a black that's Moxies that are my regular skates.
Awesome.
And I have indoor-outdoor wheels. So depending on where I'm skating.
Well, you should also, Angela, talk about your shoot you did for Milk.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I got to be on a campaign with milk industry for it was to promote women marathon, and their the premier person that was a part of it was Amanda Gorman. She did her poetry, and behind her were us women running as marathoners behind her. And in the whole 2-day shoot, it was amazing to be with other women who like to do running. And we had a 70-year-old marathon runner, and I'm the 50 category, and then it went all the way down to the 20-year-olds. And it was really fun to just be amongst a bunch of women that find running and get enjoyment out of that, and to be a part of that with Amanda Gorman.
That is so neat.
That's awesome.
That was super fun.
Such a positive message.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much for this chat. I have really enjoyed learning more about your piece. It's a gray area, and about the history of Celebrate the Gray. If you're listening to this on our Spotify, make sure to head over to our Patreon. We are going to dig deeper with these ladies about their beauty advice, what they want people to take away from this piece, advice for you as a human being moving through the world, how to find yourself in media. So make sure to head on over to our Patreon and check out that episode. And make sure to check out Celebrate the Gray, because we all know a woman that could benefit from getting some exposure like this. So again, thank you ladies so much, and we will see you guys next time on Let's Talk More on Monday.
Thank you.